Good morning. I am going to try to do a live journaling entry on Colossians 1 verse 15. It says, "The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together." I think I'm going to stop there. That's through verse 17, and we'll see how much of it I end up putting on. But I have this vision. I'm going to use this bowl to make a circle, which will be the earth, where all things created that I'm aware of reside. No, some of the alien hunters probably disagree, but I don't really know about that. Don't care. I'm just going to draw a circle and grab some wax paper to protect my page next to it, and bring out the watercolors and my water. Running out of room here. And I think I'm going to use some of these colors that are already here, just activate them with some water, and maybe put in a little green blob too, wherever I can fit it. And I'm just going to paint it like, try to indicate some land and sea in there, and see what I can come up with for colors. Got a little green on there, so anyway, let's just try and get some. And of course, it doesn't have to be an actual representation, just kind of the idea of land versus ocean is what I'm going for. And it can be all blended together. Got it really goopy here, but that's okay. I generally saturate when I'm working, and it survives, so oops, running out of green here. I'll do some more blue up in here. Not quite staying in the lines, but that's okay. It'll be the idea of it that we'll see how it works. Okay, kind of got my outline. Got to let that dry now. Actually, I'm going to dry my brush off just a little and pick up some of this extra paint where it's really gooped in, and that'll dry a little faster without a big puddle of color. Okay, I've got that good and dry. I'm going to make some room here for, I think, some Payne's Gray, which is like a blue-gray that I can use for the night sky. And let's see, this is it. Oh, that's not it. That, I think, is indigo, but right next door. Oh, no. I think that was Payne's Gray. So I'm going to get a good helping of that. And I won't write on it, so it can be good and dark. Kind of accent the earth, created out of nothing by God the Father. Okay, let's see. Never know if I've mixed enough to cover the whole area, but I think that should do it. And I'm going to grab some more of the wax paper so I don't bleed all over pages below. And this one, I'm actually going to tilt my page a bit so I can get a more uniform, smooth painting in the background. Hope this is in the camera angle. Let's see if I can move some things out of the way. And I'll start at the top and just take strokes, overlapping a little. And notice how it only goes where I stroke it. And it's just gonna goop up from there unless I really oversaturate it. Then it'll start running down the page. And I have to keep the edges wet so they don't dry and create sharp lines in that night sky. So I'm going back and forth, making sure everything stays wet, no sharp lines. And because I'm allowing gravity to help a little bit, it's gonna create a nice even blend of color. You always have to think when you're doing a big area, how am I going to be racing back and forth? So if you can start at one end and finish on the other, that's great. But I have no, this is a round object with no ending points. Okay, there we go. Again, I'm going to find dry my brush off just a little, get some of the moisture out of it so I can pull up some of that extra paint at the end so it's a little more even. And there we go. Let's let that dry. Okay, looks like everything's dry. So now I'm going to just put some stars in that night sky. I have some high flow acrylics. It's a liquid acrylic paint that gives really nice coverage. You can do it with any white. I mean, I could do little dots in there with a white pen, a white jelly roll pen, something like that. But this is quick. Only problem is I usually make a huge mess with it. So I'm leaning towards, let's see, I think I'll cover my earth with that same bowl that I use and try to protect the area a little bit with some of my waxed paper so I don't splatter everywhere. I usually do. Thinking ahead here. And what else can I put down? Oh, some tissue paper here. Okay, let's see. There we go. Maybe. All right. Good enough. So what I like to do is put a little water in it, thin it out a bit, and then I'm going to use an old toothbrush and just get it good and wet, and then just kind of flick the brush bristles so that the paint flies all over the place. And these are little tiny drops, so you can see I'm going to want it to stand out maybe a little more. The background isn't as dark as it could be, but that's okay. A little more. And then I'll get kind of a floppy brush. Let's see. Floppy round brush. This one will be good. And I'm going to get it full of paint. I think I need a little more, but let's see. Yep. Not quite soaked enough. There we go. And then I can drop some more drops here and there. And these, if I put enough paint in, would be bigger drops. So maybe some constellations in there with the patterns from the flicking. This area doesn't have very many, but Oh gosh, I'm getting it all over the place. That's okay. We'll go stop filming and wash up. There you go. And that's what we end up with. I think I'll add some where they didn't naturally go. On these edges here. I can get some right in here and there. There. I'm gonna just use a white tissue to get some of these other wayward stars cleaned up. Can't believe how far they do flick, so be careful. Wash your brush off right away. And this stuff is just spreads like crazy. I've spilled it a few times and it's really takes over, so put that away. Now I have to really decide how much of that verse I'm going to have room for that I want to put down. I kind of like that whole thing that I read has, I mean, I'd hate to eliminate a portion of it that kind of speaks to the whole truth. So I'm going to write it in my own handwriting and decide where I stop. So if I do, if I go that big, I'm not going to be able to do much. So I don't want it to all get lost in too much writing. So I'll probably limit it. Now it's starting to look like it would be just too much. I sure would like to add that, I really would like to add in there, in him all things hold together. So maybe instead of this, I would put, in him all things hold together. I think I'll write it directly in pencil on my earth there. And I can erase it once I get the letters down. So. And then that's going to be Colossians 1 verses 15 and a portion of 17. If you're not comfortable with the lettering, you could also do stamping or write it out on little strips of paper and glue it on, or print it out on the computer and add it. So I'm going to go ahead and use a Tombow calligraphy pen. It's a brush pen with a hard tip, so it gives me a little more control. And then I won't exactly follow what I have written down, but it'll be my guide for how much room I have left. I can vary the size of some of the letters for words that I want to stand out more. And now I know kind of how much room I have. I can change where I want things to go. And it really helps to pause in the middle of letters and think about what you're doing and where you're going with it, and helps you avoid some of the mistakes. See, I can't talk and do it at the same time. I'll start spelling things wrong. And then we'll put our verse reference down here. Colossians. And now, whoops, get my eraser. I like to use the high polymer erasers. They don't smudge and leave big marks. Clean it off really well, and all my underlying lines that I did not follow, I can just erase them right over the watercolor. And I think I'm all done. Let's see how I can't erase these lines here that are painted over, but that's okay. And I don't feel the need to outline anything, but there you go. I think I'm done. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have some time today to journal yourself. God bless you.